Hey, this is Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan. So once again, I want to thank one of our viewers who wrote to us and since wanted me to check out this video of Neil DeGrasse Tyson, the famous astrophysicist. He goes on public, shows like the Stephen Colbert Show here and, talks about science stuff. This time he's talking about a new book of his, which I really want to check out because apparently he devoted an entire chapter to debunking veganism.
If, let's say you're a vegetarian, there's a chapter in here called Meat Eaters and Vegetarians. Yeah, I went there.
Well, fortunately for all of us, we don't have to go and buy his book to see Neil's debunking of veganism because Neil deGrasse Tyson was kind enough to debunk veganism for us all to see live on the Stephen Colbert Show. So we'll go through and see what he said here. I'll give you a big heads up. It's some complete nonsense. I was actually astounded about how creative he was in making just really horrible arguments against veganism. So we'll take a look at that. And before we get started, I'm going to say right up front, full disclosure, I'm not some kind of Neil deGrasse Tyson hater. I've enjoyed his movie or television work throughout the years. I really enjoyed his show Cosmos, which took off from one of my idols, Carl Sagan. But Neil has said some nonsense about veganism in the past. In fact, I'll link to our video from maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Watch that. But this is even worse. So stay put here, guys. Get your popcorn. This is one of the worst debunkings of veganism I've ever seen.
People say, I don't want to kill animals. I don't have a problem with that. They probably have a humane mousetrap in their basement.
If we're going to talk about veganism or vegetarianism, let me just show the definition. I'll play the sound here, guys. Drink. It's an ethical stance against animal cruelty. It's a philosophy, a way of living which seeks to exclude as far as possible and practicable all forms of cruelty and exploitation to animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose. So we're talking about exploiting animals. And here he's talking about capturing mice in a humane way. I mean, why are we talking about this for? And he's saying this is what vegans or vegetarians do. I mean, even like non-vegans or vegetarians, if they're so inclined, could use a humane mousetrap. But let's see what he says about this.
So there it is, and they set it loose into the wild, where they have guaranteed it will be swallowed whole by an owl or picked apart by all manner of woodland predators.
Picked apart by an owl or all manner of woodland predators? Like, where do you think most people live, Neil deGrasse Tyson? I mean, it's actually happened to us before. We captured a mouse in our kitchen, put it in a box. I took it a few blocks away and released it. And we don't really have too many owls or woodland predators here. In fact, I did a little Googling after that to see what happens to mice that you release in your neighborhood. It says they usually find their way back. They're smart. They're clever. Usually it says take it maybe more than a mile away before it starts getting confused. So that's a fantasy. But either way, this is just a ridiculous justification for harming a mouse. You hear the same exact reasoning by hunters who claim, I had to shoot that baby deer because if I didn't, a wolf was going to eat it. Well, maybe so, but it probably was going to happen right then and there. You had no justification to end an animal's life saying, well, you're going to save it from a death, which may or may not happen anytime soon. This is just horrible reasoning to kill an animal.
The average life expectancy of a mouse in the wild is 9 to 18 months. The best thing you can do with a mouse is leave it in your basement. It'll live up to 6 years there. That's how you protect the life.
Oh, really, Neil? So all of a sudden, you're so concerned about animals living out their natural life expectancy. Such a hypocrite. I know he likes to eat steak and all manner of meat, and he doesn't care about the natural life expectancies of, say, cows, who can live like 20 plus years. And that's when they're not in slaughterhouses, and they're lucky to see 2 years of life. So yeah, Neil, you're a true animal activist there. Yeah, fighting for the mouse, but neglecting the animals you conveniently eat. Yeah, hypocrisy at its finest.
Meanwhile, the house is made of wood from 50 trees with floorboards and 2x4s and structural members, and the tree is home to birds and insects and fungus and squirrels.
Neil, again, let's take a look at the definition of veganism and tell me where it says vegans can't live in houses made of wood or any material whatsoever. Nothing specified here as a forbidden material.
Who do you think nature cares more about? Your mouse or the tree? And you'll say, well, the mouse has a beating heart. Tree doesn't. Maybe the tree doesn't need a beating heart. That's your criterion for what's important?
Wow, Neil, so you're going to tell me some brand new thing I've never heard before, that trees are living things?
If you cut a tree, does it not bleed? If you cloak a tree, does it not suffocate? If you cut off its nutrients, does it not wither and die?
Yes, but plants are not sentient. And Neil, you know this. This is where your example falls apart. Plants, unlike animals, don't have the physical hardware to experience pain, to be treated cruelly. Plants don't have brains, central nervous systems, sensory organs like eyes and ears. You can't make them understand they're about to die in the way that animals that you eat every day are capable of, Neil. Yes, we need to eat living things, plants, but we don't need to eat sentient things, animals.
And some trees live 1,000 years. The giant sequoias in the Pacific Northwest.
Hey, I'm not a botanist, but I do know that the giant sequoias grow in California, my home state here, and California is not typically referred to as the Pacific Northwest, but let's continue.
Oh, but you're gonna cut them all down, build your house, and save a 1-ounce chubby mouse.
I mean, so much wrong there, Neil. Like, literally no one is cutting down the giant sequoias of California to build houses, let alone houses for vegans and vegetarians. But you go ahead and just pick on people for wanting to use a humane mouse trap, and you kind of you associate that with veganism. I mean, this is just wrong all over the place here.
But what I'm hearing so far is either save all of them or save nothing. I can't quite tell.
No.
Colbert is pretty clever. I think he's a bit more clever than the esteemed astrophysicist here, because Colbert is calling Neil deGrasse Tyson out for the nirvana fallacy, or the sometimes called the appeal to futility fallacy, which I've made a nice video about. I'll put the link to that too so you can see a more thorough explanation, but it's often called the perfectionism fallacy. Basically, you have a problem. In this case, it's the problem of harming animals or exploitation animals, cruelty to animals, and there's no perfect solution, because us vegans inadvertently might harm some animals when the giant sequoia gets cut down and squirrels are living in it. So there's no perfect solution. So we might as well just harm everything, rats and cows and everything, because there's no perfect solution.
I'm not here to give you your opinions. I'm here to make sure whatever opinion you do have is more fully informed than it probably was to begin with.
No, you didn't help fully inform my opinion about veganism or vegetarianism or ecology or anything. In fact, let's step aside from ethical veganism for a second and talk about science, which I wish he just stuck to, because his attempt at philosophy here is extremely poor. Neil, why don't we talk about something more in your wheelhouse here? We could talk about, say, the environment, climate change, and you as a scientist acknowledge these things to be true. And if you want to actually do something to help save humanity, why are you picking on vegans and vegetarians here? Why are you ridiculing us? Because the number one source of greenhouse gas emissions is animal agriculture, the meat and dairy that you so blissfully consume there, Neil. The greenhouse gas emissions from animal agriculture is more than all of transportation combined, and animal agriculture is responsible for 90% of Amazon rainforest destruction. But anyway, yeah, make fun of vegans and vegetarians for maybe wanting to save a mouse rather than just stomping it out, and yeah, blissfully ignore one of the greatest problems that humanity's ever had to face. Yeah, good job, Neil.
I often introduce aliens because they don't have any preconceived notion of who and what we are, and we get a sense of what they might say. So imagine photosynthesizing sentient aliens, okay? So they're basically sentient plants.
All right, I gotta forewarn you, this is a super bizarre story he's about to go on here. Imagine plants that are sentient and have intelligence greater than ours. I mean, it wouldn't really be a plant as we all define plants. It'll be some other kind of being, but let him go on here.
Okay.
And so they're in a spaceship, and they saw that Earth has a good biodiversity of plants. Then they meet vegetarians who expressly eat plants.
Well, since vegans and vegetarians are a small minority of the human population, odds are they're just going to find a regular, standard Western diet person who, guess what, also eats plants.
And it's not just plants. They notice that vegetarians target the reproductive organs of plants, the berries, the nuts, all of the things. The plant's just trying to make another version of itself. Nope, let's eat it.
Yep, only vegans and vegetarians eat that stuff.
Last night, I had zucchini blossoms. The zucchini's just trying to make another zucchini. But no, I ate it.
Aha, you're as horrible as all those vegans and vegetarians eating zucchini, you plant murderer.
The aliens, they go check in on Whole Foods and they see people shopping in the produce aisle. These same vegetarians, they're into infanticide. They're selecting Baby carrots, baby spinach, baby artichokes, baby everything.
He's right. At Whole Foods, they ask for your vegan cult membership card to prove that you are indeed a vegan, so you can buy baby carrots.
And these aliens, they say, what the hell's going on here on Earth? What?
I mean, aliens who have the technology to travel the vast distances of space, which humans can't do, how dumb does he really think they are? I mean, why would they be offended to see humans eating plants, which these aliens happen to be made of, but the plants are lacking some crucial features that these aliens have, such as sentience and intelligence. They would more than easily understand this distinction. I mean, how dumb does he really think space travelers are?
It offers cosmic perspectives, it's another way to think about what it is you do. You might feel more strongly about what you do or less, but it's another way to look at how you have formulated what it is you think and do.
Yeah, Neil, because of your hypothetical thought experiment example here of space traveling aliens who are made of plants, how they would be offended at us at Whole Foods buying baby carrots. Yeah, you've really made me rethink my whole position about veganism. Yeah, was that your goal here? Yeah, because of this bizarre example. Yeah, I think you're right. We shouldn't be vegans. Yeah, it's completely fine to harm and exploit animals needlessly. Forget that I'm not slaughtering animals now. I'll just go out and start eating animals again. But I'll contribute to the 80 billion animals that are slaughtered every year for no reason. I don't have to quit, but I'm going to quit now because of the potential of a space traveling alien plant. Right.
To come up with that idea of the sentient plants, did you smoke any baby plants?
No.
I think that's Steve's way of saying your theory is a crackpot theory. Like, what were you on to think of this, and let alone write about this in a book in an attempt to debunk veganism and vegetarians? Like, really?
Oh, by the way, did you know E.T. was a sentient plant, not an animal?
E.T.'s a plant?
Yes.
All right, so now we've really gone off the deep end here, using E.T., a movie character alien, and now he's arguing that it was a plant, and it's just complete nonsense. He said his proof is that Steven Spielberg told him in private once. Anyway, that's all irrelevant. Doesn't matter if E.T. was a plant or not. It doesn't strengthen or weaken his whole argument here for sentient, alien, intelligent plants traveling to Earth and being shocked at both vegetarians, vegans, and meat eaters consuming plants, and trying to use this as an excuse or thought experiment for all of us to think through to reevaluate our ethical and moral positions against animal cruelty and exploitation is just, I don't even know what to say. I don't even have a word for it. It's just ridiculous. I mean, I can't believe Neil deGrasse Tyson thought this was a good idea. I mean, he's a great astrophysicist and a science educator. I'll give him that. No dispute there. But he's what he's trying to do here is do some philosophy. He's just a horrible philosopher. I mean, I'm way better than him, and I'm just a grad school philosophy dropout. And Neil, stick to your wheelhouse, do more science education and astrophysics, and you'll be fine. But trying to go into these philosophical waters, creating these bizarre nonsensical thought experiments about aliens made of plants and vegans cutting down the giant sequoias to build homes. These are some of the worst arguments, Neil, and I can say that with some authority because every Friday on my live streams I invite people to come present their best cases, their best arguments against veganism, and these are as wacky and zany as any of these people come, and I doubt any of these people have PhDs and are professors and television personalities. So Neil, stick to your thing, get back in your lane, bro. All right, guys, so thanks for watching this video. Hit like and share your comments down below. Let me know what you think about Neil deGrasse Tyson. Be kind if you're not a fan. Again, we don't tolerate people being not civil. Just be cool, be chill, and let me know what you thought about his debunking of veganism here, and rank it. Do you think this is one of the worst ones you've ever seen, or at least one of the more bizarre ones? Let me know. I want to hear. And like, share, become a channel member. Hit the join button next to the subscribe button. Get all our channel perks, member only live streams, and speaking of channel members, I want to give some big shout outs to our newest members to the Happy Fam. We have Richard, I Give Up, Christine Petty, and Carol Everson. And special thanks to both Apano Stim and Sean Cope for joining and rejoining as our top tier Happy Fam true fans. And I also want to give shout outs to Fa Dieting, Ono, Antonio, and Annoyed Aussie for rejoining this month. So thank you guys, and we'll see you in the members only stuff.